truck?
Yeah. So I have sockets, a couple different ratchets, different sizes of ratchets and sockets, and you know, basic screwdriver and stuff. This one fits my lug nuts. I have this like big ass wrench that I would attach the big socket to take off my lug nuts. To change the tire, then pop these up, and then I can use that big socket with the big wrench to pull those off. I've never actually had to do this in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if I had to do this by myself.
You think you could, right?
I think so. But what I'm going to do is practice at his shop, like if I didn't have any of his tools, just using my tools.
And how would you lift with the truck?
I have a bottle jack, but I still need one more tool actually to operate that.
And is this heavy to lift up?
Pull that tab forward and then lift it up. It's not too bad. It doesn't really stay up super well.
Is it going to fall on my head?
No, it just won't stay all the way up. It'll stay like low. My springs are not great.
That's a really cool engine.
Yeah, isn't it cool? But this is the bottle jack, and so you can unscrew this little wing nut to get it out, and then this will lift up. But this isn't super sturdy. I think I would like to have, I don't know, maybe at least one jack stand. Also, if I was gonna have to work on this. But I mean, if you're changing a tire, you're not getting under the truck. You never want to get under the truck if you only have something little like this holding it up. This would just be to like,
because it could fall on you?
It could fall on you and kill you. People die like that.
Really?
Yeah. Really bad death. No, that's this whole thing is the radiator for keeping it cool. So this is like how your car sweats.
Oh, is your AC?
No. It's like literally the cooling system for the engine. Wait, stand back because I don't know if there's pressure here. I don't think so.
It's going to blow up?
No, you're good. So if you look in there, can you see the green coolant fluid? This stuff?
Is it okay to touch?
Yeah. I mean, don't drink it or anything, but yeah.
Is this what an old engine looks like?
This is what an old engine looks like?
It's open.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can get at everything. That's what I mean about they're so much easier to work with. Because like a new engine has all these plastic covers and you have to take them all off and there are sensors in the way. You have to unhook the sensors and rehook the sensors back up and you need special tools.
Why do the new ones have that? Does it help anything?
I don't think so. I think it's just because they want you to bring their car back to them to be serviced. I'm sure they say it's for safety or whatever, but I don't understand it. Like this, literally that's the bolt that holds on the valve cover here. If you took off this valve cover, you'd be able to see the actual like rocker arms that are like at the top of the pistons that are going in and out of the engine. It's really, really cool. You can see everything.
Is the engine heavy?
The engine is very heavy. It weighs like 300 pounds or something.
How did you get it in there?
We used a tractor. Because we work on everything from outside. And well, my mechanic had a tractor he was repairing, and like a backhoe with a big claw scooping bucket. Yeah. And so he just drove it over to my truck, and we attached a special plate on here that like distributes the weight better, so you can actually hook things onto it without breaking anything. Mm-hmm. And then we attached that with a big chain to the tractor, and he just like lifted it. I mean, I unbolted everything.
With the tractor?
He just lifted it out with the tractor, and then we got it onto like an engine stand.
And this is your battery.
That's my battery. Yeah. That's my battery. This is, like you were saying, air intake. This is the brake master cylinder.
How do these signals on like really fast cars?
Well,
what does it do?
It's just a filter. It's just a filter. See how this paper thing that's folded back and forth, back and forth, back and forth? That's to create a lot of surface area to catch little pieces of dust that are in the air. Because it needs to breathe in a lot of air to mix with the gasoline to light it on fire. Because things won't burn without oxygen. So it's kind of like its lungs, basically.
Wait, how did you get this truck again?
I bought it from a 17-year-old kid.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So basically a kid your age who had bought it, and then he had started taking it apart, and it was like too big, he was in over his head, and it had all kinds of problems. Like it billowed smoke every time you started it from the exhaust. It was like embarrassing. That's why we had to do the engine rebuild.
Oh, really?
Engine rebuild took 4 months and cost me like $5,000. And it would have cost a lot more if I hadn't done as much of the labor myself as I could.
What are these for?
Style, mainly. If you ask some people, they'll say it's for pushing Priuses out of the way. I do not use it for that purpose. No, they're called brush guards. So in theory, if you were, you know, on a ranch, whatever,
Just
driving through
a fence.
maybe not a fence, but like brush, you know, low bushes and stuff, it would help push it out of the way.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yep, this is where all the fluid for the brake system is held. So when you hit the brakes, there's a lever that gets pushed forward, and then that shoves fluid through these steel brake lines into your brakes so that they clamp together and stop the car. Coolant system. See this big thing? That's like how it circulates water, which is coolant basically, in and out of the engine. And so it gets hot through the engine, then circulates through here, gets cooled off in this, which is the radiator. All these like tiny little
Do you ever have to clean it?
zigzag things.
There's a plea.
I cleaned it when I had it out, when I was doing the rebuild. But then this fan right here gets turned by the engine turning.
Oh, there's a fan?
Yeah, there's a fan. So this turns really fast when the engine is running. When the engine is running, there's like, what is it, the crankshaft?
And doesn't this thing spin?
Yeah, this spins, and which turns this fan, and it also turns the belts that run the alternator, which charges, that's the alternator, that generates electricity, which charges the battery through this voltage regulator, which makes sure that it's a safe amount of electricity to charge the battery. This went bad and I didn't know. My battery exploded.
What happened?
There's this incredible explosion pop sound. I thought like somebody had shot a gun at my truck or something, or I thought the engine exploded. Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, that was so bad. So I pulled over. Yes, and I pulled over and couldn't really tell from the back. It just was like slightly cracked right here, and like this panel was forward, but it was so slight that I didn't realize it because I was looking for something being like destroyed from how loud it was. I thought something would be completely ruined, but it was fine, but I didn't notice it, and it even started and drove. After that, I drove all.
Bad? Well, how did it start without a battery?
I guess some of the cells of the battery were still okay. Some exploded, and yeah. And I drove it to my mechanics, and
Noticed it?
at first he didn't even notice it because he didn't think it would have started if the battery exploded either. So we weren't looking at that, and then he finally was like, "Oh crap! Like your battery exploded," and then I got a new one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. When I got it, this entire thing was just like black with leaking oil. Now it's just, there's still a little bit down here.
You cleaned it?
Well, I cleaned it, and then I also like rebuilt it so it doesn't leak oil anymore.
Can you spray a hose in there, or is that bad?
Yeah, you can totally spray a hose in there. I've done that.
Can you do that in any car?
I don't know. I would imagine, but I've never dealt with other cars besides this one. And these are the spark plugs.
What does that do?
They send.
Oh, it's not how you hot wire a car.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. But sparks are generated through the distributor, and it goes through the wires in these coils to the spark plug heads. And then that is literally what creates a spark that lights the gasoline and air mixture on fire, which explodes the piston forwards. That's what runs your whole engine. That's why it's called internal combustion engine. The internal part means it's like inside of each cylinder. And the combustion happens when the spark is created from the spark plug and then lights it on fire and it explodes forward. Yeah, it's super fun. It's so fun to work on. And I just like sit right here and I work on stuff.
You can sit on
I'm
that?
small, I can fit. Yeah. It's super fun.
Wow. That's a pretty cool truck.
Thanks. Yeah, you can just slam it close.
Shut it?
Yep.
Close?
Yep. It's always good to check, but yeah. Yeah, that's Aquamarine.